so lovely to see so many of you. My name is Rebecca Holloway and I'm the Principal of East Sussex College, but most importantly today I'm the Chair of Sussex, which is the organisation that's really put this programme and this wonderful conference together. This is our inaugural, our historic first event, and it's so fantastic to see so many of you, so many friendly faces, lots of familiar faces, and we represent all of the post-16 providers in Sussex, so it really is fantastic. Take a look around at each other, and I'm sure by the end of the day, here's a challenge for you. Try and have met at least 5 people, if not 10. And there might even be a small subgroup to do it, who knows? We encourage that. But most importantly, you're all doing the same job in terms of really supporting our Sussex's most important cohort in terms of the 16 to 18-year-olds and supporting them out of school and supporting them through this most critical part of their journey, and hosting it here at the university is a really fantastic symbol in terms of the work that the colleges are doing with our local HE providers and really cementing and building on partnerships that have existed for many years, but really taking that to the next level and for the benefit of our many, many young people. So we've got a really fantastic day planned, lots of amazing speakers, and lots of breakout sessions, plenty of time in the breaks and the lunch for you to fulfil that challenge, minimum of 5, hopefully 10 new friends, professional colleagues. I don't mind what you call yourselves by the end of the day, but please do try and mix and speak to each other, and hopefully we can start a real engine of energy. I can already feel it. I can already feel the energy. It is hot. I know, it's nice and air conditioning here, and I think we've got a great venue for today. I know that it's such a busy time of year, and I'm so grateful that you did make your way here this morning and you are giving up your time. I'm so grateful for the colleagues here and for our speakers who are giving up their time and who have done a lot of work in preparing for today. Today is about looking at how we don't just use technology, how we don't just adapt to technology, but how we turn some of these new tools into really important parts of how we change teaching and learning, and we lead on this. Today is about how we lead the way in terms of some of this tech, how we support our students in a whole manner of new ways to learn differently, how do we deliver differently, how do we tackle some of the really deep and long-standing challenges that our sector has faced, that our young people face increasingly. How can tech and technology and the many things that we're already exploring in all of our colleges, how can that be pulled together? That's really what we want to do today. Start provoking some thought, provoking some ideas, provoking some really real bravery in next year's delivery in trying some new things. Let's again, with our 5 new friends, promise ourselves we'll try something new as a result today. I just want to give you a couple of practical bits of information. So there are no planned fire alarms today. If you do hear a fire alarm, please do make your way to assembly points, one at the back of the car park and one outside the front of this wonderful building. So again, I'm sure there are many colleagues to help us with that, but as I say, not planned. Plenty of facilities, lots of toilets and the like outside of this room. We'll be moving around in terms of the breakout spaces. And that, I think, is enough for me. Have a brilliant day. We will be there are colleagues here filming with wonderful students from Bargain School, Bargain College, other colleges who are filming and are making a video. Can we take a minute just to give our thanks to them for their video of the day that we can share with people that weren't able to attend today. If they do approach you, please let them ask you some questions and let yourself be filmed. It might be your favourite thing, but we'd be so grateful. I'd like to thank our team at Sussex for pulling this wonderful day together. I've asked you to put your hands together again for the team here. begin, I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome and introduce you to Professor Sasha Roseneal, who is Vice Chancellor here at this wonderful organisation, better known as Sussex University. Big thank you to Sasha for hosting and welcoming us so warmly, and I look forward to seeing you soon and hearing about this wonderful work. Thank you so much.
Well, good morning, FE Sussex. Welcome to the University of Sussex. How many of you have ever been here before, to this campus? So, kind of, I don't know, maybe half, a third. Are any of you Sussex alumni? Yeah, a few. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome back, Sussex alumni. Lovely to have you back on campus. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you haven't been here before, I hope that you can take the opportunity to have a little poke around our beautiful campus. This is one of the newer buildings, our business school, which has only been here for about 20 years and is now the top business school in the country in terms of research income. People don't think of Sussex as having the best business school in the country for research, but we do. But have a look at some of our old buildings. The Basil Spence Heritage Campus, which is English Heritage listed, the library, pop into the library. We always welcome sixth formers, FE students from around the region to come and study in our library. It's an open space. And I quite often get emails from parents who say it was quite transformative for their son or daughter to come and spend some time working in our library. It kind of opened up the possibility of university to them. So please do have a look in the library so that you can encourage students to come and use it. It's a beautiful building. Also, maybe have a look at our meeting house. In other universities that would probably be called the chapel, but at Sussex it's our meeting house. It's a non-denominational space, absolutely beautiful, cylinder shape, with beautiful stained glass and an amazing eye looking down on you. And you'll find there are a lot of cylinders in the architecture around campus, a lot of circles, which I think really speaks to the kind of ethos of Sussex, which is one of bringing people together in a kind of in an equal way and in an inclusive way. And it's really important to us that you're having your first big event like this at Sussex. We're really delighted. At Sussex University, we're looking at new ways of collaborating with FE colleges around the region. And we're talking at the moment with FE Sussex, as 3 universities in Sussex, about forming a new strategic alliance, FE and HE, working much more closely together. And so that's really exciting, and it's wonderful to have you having this conference here today. And there's going to be a big focus on digital technologies, and so just to kind of give you a few thoughts before I disappear and let you get on with the real business of the day. Sussex was there really at the very beginning, I think, of the digital revolution, the informatics revolution. So we were founded in 1961, and from our earliest days, there was work going on in artificial intelligence in Sussex. You may have heard that Geoffrey Hinton was awarded the Nobel Prize last November for his early work in AI. That early work was done here on this very campus at Sussex. He was a postdoctoral researcher at Sussex doing that work that eventually led to him getting the Nobel Prize. And then the other sort of Sussex fact is that the first ever transatlantic email was sent from the University of Sussex in 1973 to the US. That was long before any of us were using email, and it's probably the bane of our lives, how many emails were coming during the course of this day for all of you. But that very first transatlantic email was sent from Sussex. Sussex was there at the beginning of the informatics revolution. And right now on our campus there is amazing quantum technology being developed. The first blueprint for a quantum computer was developed on this campus, just along in the physics department. So there's really amazing work going on here, cutting edge research, and we bring our students into that from the very beginning. So if you've got students interested in physics and in quantum computing, they can come to Sussex and immediately be embedded with our research teams as undergraduates. So, enough from me. You're here to talk about digital technologies and to network with each other. I think it looks like a really great programme of talks. But I think, as Rebecca said, so much of the importance of this day is the networking that you do with each other, the building of relationships across colleges, across institutions, and having an opportunity a bit outside the everyday to meet with each other and think. So have a really good day. I know it's incredibly hot already, and although Rebecca generously said it's air conditioned, it still feels quite hot in here to me. You're not on the beach, which I think deserves enormous congratulations. You're here for a serious conference. So I hope it's a good day, and do wander around campus and experience a little bit of the university. But have a great day, and thank you for coming.
That's right. Hello. How you doing?
Hello.
So my name is Chris Hogg, and it's an absolute honour to come and speak here in front of you today. I understand that we're also being streamed on Twitch and YouTube, so if there are any students there, it's time to get up. Well done. Welcome. So why am I here? I'm here because I want to tell you a story. I'm going to go and the microphone. I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened to me a year ago, and hopefully it will take us on a quest and a journey which might help you with some of the questions that are in your mind about this new revolution in technology that seems to be impacting everything at this moment in time. So whether you're at peak AI and can't stand another word about it, or you're really interested, hopefully you're going to get something. So, my name is Chris Hogg, and I teach in this place here, which is Holloway, which, if there were university rankings for the most flammable building, it would be absolutely number one. So yes, unfortunately there aren't those kind of rankings that paper. My teaching got weird about a year ago when I was teaching a class on AI in the Media Arts Department, which is like a film and TV school, and 4 students just walked out. They were like, we're just at the beginning of our journey, and what is the point? Like, we're designers, we're digital designers, and look, this can do what we do in the click of a button, and it was like, we're out, see ya. And I was just like, I really had no idea what to say to them at the time, but I think it put me on a quest, and I was like, right, I'm going to find out more, I'm going to tell these students, and so that's what you're going to get from me today. You're going to get the benefit of this quest, trying to answer some anxious students. So, the first thing, where are we at in terms of context? Who's using AI in the teaching profession? And this is what we know. 60% of teachers are using AI on a weekly basis, and they're typically using it to differentiate lesson plans to the individual needs of students in their classes. They are also using it for marking. And one teacher told me, I've got my life back. I can have dinner with my partner. And there's got to be something pretty good about that. The truth, and it reminded me of an old African expression which says, if you don't have a donkey, then you are a donkey. Where else are we contextually? So, we're in this world, we're in the world of the attention economy. And back in the 1970s, a very clever man called Herbert A. Simon said this: a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention, and the need to allocate that attention efficiently amongst the overabundance of information sources that might consume it. A long sentence, but considering one of the maladies of our age is attention deficit, it's not all our fault. It's kind of built into the systems that we're using. So this is how I started the lecture with the students. I was like, this is how I thought AI landed in our world. It landed like an alien intelligence in the middle of the market square and just, disguised itself as a fun fair. And everybody could get involved. And 2 years down the line, they're still trying to work out this. Like, what the hell is it? Is it a god? A monster? A helper? A slave? Now, I kind of figure it's a mixture of all of those things. And I'm a playwright, so you're going to get a totally playwright's point of view of all of these things today. Very arty, not very scientific. But a playwright's job is to try and say, what the hell do we do now? And to give you a story to speak about it. I worked in tech a long time, and I kind of understood what the students were feeling because we've been burnt before. The internet, early 90s, everybody has a website, brilliant. Fast forward 25 years, we seem to have 5 platforms with the same videos going round and round and round and round again. And the whole game seems to be, how long can you keep somebody on their phone? And that ain't ethical. And one of the things I know about teaching technology for 20 years is this, is that for everything that it gives you, it takes something away. We are in the world of magic and loss. And so I was really adamant to those students, and what I wanted them to get to was the place where they could find what's called their ludic limits. What are ludic limits? Ludic limits happens every time you go to a theme park, right? Every time you go to the theme park and go, I like that ride, but I hate that park. It's where you find the limits of your play. And so I was telling the students, experiment. Try and find where you feel comfortable with these new generative AI tools that are going to have an impact on your life. We didn't really get that far. But, personally speaking, as a playwright, I found my ludic limit this moment, about 3 weeks ago, when this video came out.
So this is all AI generated now?
Yes.
Did you notice the pause? I'm sorry, I have to go back. Did you notice the pause? Like, the pause is what we use as a playwright. If you want to make a character decide whether they're telling the truth or a lie, you give them a pause. And there was the AI pausing, thinking, giving the illusion. And I think that marks the moment where we really not trust the things that we see with our eyes when it comes to online. Now, if we can't trust the things that we see with our eyes online, where on earth do we put our trust? And I've thought long and hard about this, and I think we put our trust in the people around us and the institutions that we have on an everyday basis, on our sixth form college, on our university, on our place of work. That's where we need to place our trust, on our social relationships. So, where are you on your journey of trust? So what is it? Is AI and these generative tools, is it the biggest plagiarism machine that ever existed, or is it the store of all human creativity? Somewhere you have some thoughts. This is a trust curve, right? And what we're going to do quickly is AI, completely unaware, don't know what it is, completely bought into it and have got your own 40 chips at home. Just stick up your hands to let you know where you are on the kind of big AI trust curve. So, who is aware but confused? Okay, that's cool. What about understand it but have a negative perception? Yeah, we're getting to about 35-40%. What about kind of really bought into it? Again, it's kind of a little bit less than the kind of, so we're on a journey, each of us is on a journey. But one of the things I do know, right, is when you kind of trust is our collective intelligence. Trust is the thing that allows us to just not have to firefight the whole time. There are countries out there with no resources but tons of trust who are very wealthy. There's countries out there who have masses of resources but low levels of trust and they're always struggling to innovate. Trust between us is the thing that we really, really need. And so it's something that we need to protect. Do you know what I did? When AI first came out, do you know what I did? Because I'm a weirdo and I'm a playwright. I said, I got my 1986 copy of the Argos catalogue here, right? I know this is but go with it. It's a rare item, it costs me 30 quid on eBay. Wait till page 226, which is one of the toy pages, anybody can borrow this at half time. And I stuck it into AI, and it kind of said, I said, generate me some other version of this. And so it just gave me this completely other 80s versions that never existed. So we've got kind of like a female Dolph Lundgren there, That should have happened. She should have fought in Rocky 7. So just by playing with it, it gave me a clue as to how it could be working in my teaching. Like, it can create multiverses of anything. And so, I was just like, okay, well maybe it can help me create multiverses of plays. And so I went and spoke to one of Britain's finest playwrights, Simon Stevens, and he said, it can do stuff with plays, because the Greeks invented the stage, and it was their technology for analysing human consciousness, and they allowed us to stare into suffering without blinking. It was a genius invention. I was like, okay, I'm onto something. I thought maybe that could help me restore the students. And so the first thing I did with the students is I got them to have conversations with Dionysus. Because you can do that with AI. I threw a sheet over the ghost of the machine and Dionysus appeared. And that made the student enter a play space. And when you're in a play space, you're in a creative space. When you're in a creative space, you're in a learning space. So wow, it creates multiverses and you can create ghosts and monsters. But then, what happens if you start playing it? And this is the crazy thing. I stuck in one of Shakespeare's plays, and suddenly I could look at the play from every angle. It was almost as if I'd taken a 2D object and it became it didn't get performed in AI, it kind of got reformed. It didn't start to read the script as kind of just build a data object out of it, and it kind of crystallized all the possibilities that it could possibly take on. And For me, as a playwright, super excited. And it was like, maybe Shakespeare named the globe for a good reason. Back to the student. Right, spoke to this guy, A. Islami, head of Google DeepMind. I said, the students walked out, what should I do? And he said, don't worry, it's just like photography. But that was like not quite true. Like in photography, like the metal, right, everything just shuffled around. You didn't stop anybody painting or anything like that. But ultimately, it's not quite the same because it's not photography, because like a lot of these images don't use a camera, right? That's weird. And also, it's not just photography, it's practice, it's performance, it's music, it's everything all at the same time. And every time you go into one of Google's products and you create a video, you press the remix button, and there you see what they're going to say. They're going to say, look, we've done nothing to culture, but you can remix it. You have to pay us, but you can remix it in any different way that you want to. To reassure the students again, I spoke to another creative guy. This is one of my favourite guys that ever existed. Dr. Taki Higuchi, probably the most creative man that I've ever met. He writes down 50 brand new ideas every single day. And I was like, could you reassure the students? You know, he's got so many notes. He's got 12 patents, 18 books, and he even knows how many good ideas he's had. He's had 0.03 good ideas for about 1,700. I have to introduce him to him.
Okay, thank you, Chris Hogg, my friend. I'm the founder of the Idea Marathon System. Idea Marathon System is that you have to use your brain every day. Not today, not the 1 week, that every day you have to use your brain. And write your own thinking as much as possible into notebooks. You see, be prepared for the AI already here, out here. So you have to have you have to control AI like bunch of sheep, and you have to use sheep control stick with pen like this. So you have to use show stick to the sheep, and the sheep will move. Be prepared. You have to brighten your creativity every day. Then you never get afraid of AI is here. Okay, and I have to show. I promised to Chris, I will show my 40 years notebook, but this is 20 years. Half of my notebook is over there. Okay, another shelf in another room. But 580 notebooks in 41 years. And this one is just a part of the stick, about 1,200 empty biro. Okay, thank you very much. Bye. Bye now.
Bye. Okay, thank you, Takio. He'll have his biggest idea on his 104th birthday. We're all invited apparently. Okay, so let's get into some theory. Marshall McLuhan, he appears in Annie Hall, great moment in cinema, and he said these 4 things. And I want you to think about this over the day, right? Which is that AI, he suggests that any new foundational technology is going to have 4 impacts in your life. It's going to enhance something that you do. It's going to cancel something that you do. It's going to bring back something, this is a weird one, from the ancient past that you had forgotten that we ever used to do. And finally, it's going to become so successful, it will have negative consequences. And what makes this all so confusing is that these all happen at exactly the same time. So, what's going to be enhancing teaching? So you can tutor at scale for unresearched students, you can generate tools for art and coding, you can have adapted learning paths for different students, you can translate into so many different languages. You know, factual recall becomes less important as AI supplies all the answers. You know, teachers are no longer the sole authority in the room. AI can know more facts than the teacher and in many more languages. You know, access to high quality resources is no longer limited to schools. I could go through all this all day, and I will send you all of these slides, but I've got a very limited amount of time. There's one more point I really want to kind of take with you, but this is a good framework for kind of untangling all the strands of what AI could be. One of the most important things, what will it bring back from the past, is the power of the word. We will be talking to our computers, we will be coding with our voices. This is going to happen very, very soon. And do you know what? The word abracadabra means I create as I speak. Only 12 generations ago, we used to believe in incantations and spells, the 1700s. And something of that is coming back because of the power of our words. And so, we may think we're entering the age of quantum computing, but you know what? Maybe we're entering for our students the age of conjuring, where the ability to create a spell, where the ability to create a prompt becomes really, really important. By giving students a sense of power of their words, we give them a sense of agency. You know why this Harry Potter is so absolutely popular? It's because the spells in that book give the children power that they don't have in real life. There's something in that for all of us. So, whether God becomes God wants a helper or slave, the question is, what are we going to become as teachers? And my view is just get weird with it, experiment.
Is this really a good use of all that computing power?
No, it's not, but you've got enough, you know what I mean? So, anyway, here are some random thoughts. In the world of overabundance of information, then teachers curate information into knowledge. In a world where the answers are easy, asking questions gets hard, and so teachers can teach thinking. What would happen if we considered a curriculum to be a world that we run? And if I can turn a play into a 360 object, can I create a game that creates wisdom? So there's a new job out there in this world, you wouldn't believe it, but it's called a world runner. And they have them at Disney, and they have them a lot, and they look after IP. And so consequently, a world runner absolutely has to look after a world. And so I see your world as teachers in a way, in this modern AI age, as a world runner. I'm sure this is not original, and people have said this to you before, but you have a syllabus which is a world, and you're kind of in charge of it. And AI allows you to make it fun. Our students these days are playing new kinds of games. We used to play Monopoly and try to win. They come back week after week to play Dungeons and Dragons. And the aim of Dungeons and Dragons is not to win. The aim of Dungeons and Dragons is to see how creative we can be to keep the whole thing going. Which seems a great metaphor for life at the moment. How creative can we be to keep this whole thing going? So, in this world, you need dungeon masters. And so a dungeon master is somebody that kind of understands the rules of the game, and they decide on they guide people through, and they help people have the most meaningful, fun experience. How long do you have? We don't have very long, do we? I think 1 minute. In which case, I'm going to say, if you have time or energy or inclination, I'll be running a session on teachers as games masters in a few minutes' time. But let's just kind of conclude with this. So, what is a weird teacher? It's somebody that kind of is constantly trying to find that ethical limits in a very unethical technological world. Teacher, a sorcerer of prompts that vibes with remixed culture, that sees teaching materials as multiverses, that understands that any 2D text or historical document can be turned into a hologram, that turns viewers into players, that has ghosts as teachers, that gives student agency and sees themselves as a games master and a joker. And so, thank you very much. If you'd like to have more information or just go on a journey, I'm constantly checking stuff on social. It's just a work in progress. But thank you very much.
Chris. What a wonderful opening to our conference, and I'm fully convinced that the answer is to get weird. And I hope everybody else is too. I'm sure you've got lots of questions for Chris, and I'm sure that there are lots of ideas that you'd like to discuss with him. But this is sort of my opportunity now just to tell you about the format of our conference today. But first I'll introduce myself. So my name's Janet Clark. I'm the CEO of FE Sussex, that's put the event on today, and Rebecca Holloway, which is the chair of, which you mentioned earlier. We've got loads of brilliant speakers, and to make sure that we give them enough time to talk, you're not listening to me and other people introducing, we're going to have a sort of TEDx style format.
So each of the speakers will have around 15 minutes, and I'm just going to introduce them very simply. But throughout the day, in the breaks, and the breakout sessions, and most importantly, much later in the day when we have our AI panel, you will have the opportunity to ask questions and speak to the speakers. So do take those opportunities. So I think without further ado, and on that note, I would like to introduce our next speaker, which is Laura Heath from BodySwops.
Hello everyone. I'm just going to quickly get technically set up before we begin.
No.
While we do that, I'll introduce myself. I'm probably a new name to many of you. You're probably most familiar with BodySwops and Rosie, one of your champions of alerts, Becky or Regina or Jim or Marion. But excited to thank you to talk to you a little bit more today about both where we are with BodySwops and more importantly, where we're going. So one quick check for me will be on the I'll get started. So, I'll introduce myself, but what I'd love to know is how many people in this room have already used BodySwops or would say they're quite familiar. So, show of hands, please. Perfect. We've got a fair sea of hands, which makes my job over the next 15 minutes a lot easier, because I've got a huge task of fitting the future of soft skills into just that 15 minute slot. So it might seem counterintuitive, but I'm going to start by taking a step back in time and looking at where we started out in education. So we were a VR agency with a technology that was proven to improve learner engagement, learner retention, and have an impact on behavioural change. And the question that we were asking ourselves is how can we put that into action to support learners' soft skills? Now, this is a huge question that I imagine many of you have asked yourselves over and over again, probably continue to ask. And the reason why this question is so important is because soft skills are some of the most in demand, but also some that are critically kind of missing in key areas. So we're hearing feedback from educators, from employers. Students have great technical skills and great qualifications and the know-how to go out and do what they're designed to or hoping to do. However, they don't have the confidence potentially to go out and do it, or they don't know how to engage with one another, collaborate, or communicate professionally. So alongside that need for soft skills, with the rise of AI, with the kind of post-COVID world, they're also the most in demand. These are the skills that employers are looking for and that your students are hoping to develop. So our answer as BodySwops was to provide a new learning experience. So it's an experiential platform that provides the scalability of e-learning through VR, PC and mobile, alongside the one-to-one impact of tutoring. So each student goes through their own journey. They get personalised actionable insights, and this allows them to then go forward into that real-world scenario with increased confidence. So in practice, for those of you who haven't yet encountered BodySwops, this is a learning journey that goes through gamified learning, introducing them to the skills, building up their confidence before they have an opportunity to practice. So put what they've just learned into their own words. Then, where our name comes from, they have a body swap. This is where they change places with someone else in the scenario and understand how they came across from their perspective. Once they've gone through that reflection process, they then have a moment to debrief, understand from AI feedback where they were strong, where they could improve, and then continue that process until they do feel ready to tackle this with a real human. This process could be a single skill that they really needed to focus on and repeat and repeat and repeat, or it could be a series of learning that you have assigned to your learners that goes through a range of skills. One of the key goals when we started with FE Sussex was to assist educators. One of the key ways that we've been doing this at BodySwops is providing a plug-and-play solution. These are skills from communication all the way through to customer service, designed by subject matter experts, partnered with learning design experts to put this together into a library that you can assign and focus on what you do best, allowing them to practice in this space with the skills that they then need to go on and put into action. A critical element of the student experience is the psychological safety provided by this format. So you're providing a space where students can try new approaches. They can get things wrong. They're not set up as a peer or an educator where they might feel self-conscious. They can go through this process with no real-world repercussions. So that's something we call a flight simulator for soft skills. This is a space dedicated for their own personal development. It's focused on practice and perspective taking, and only they can understand how they can progress through and do better next. So this is the BodySwops that I believe most of you will know. And we've had the last academic year where you've already reached over 1,000 learners with over 1,500 training sessions, and this is just in the app, so this is just what we've captured in a direct training with the platform. You also have lots of workshop sessions and conversations across the colleges. But with that in mind, I wanted to take a moment to focus on what you've done in this year. So you've reached core skills across all of our categories. Some of them focus on employability, we've had healthcare programs, public speaking and presentation skills as well. You've had a real range in just the first year, so we're excited to see what this slide might look like this time next year. While you're all together, I also want to take the opportunity to celebrate those of you who have reached kind of really high numbers and have engaged your learners in such a short space of time, especially those of you at Bexhill, Baswick, Brighton-Net, Hampton and Chichester. Congratulations, you're officially the top BodySwops FE Sussex users of 2024-25. So yes, I heard you, yes, it's great. I also want to pose a question to you, which is, in BodySwops, we have something that we call a whale. A whale is a partner of ours that's reached over 1,000 sessions themselves. We've got whales all over the UK and North America. We also have a kraken, which is 10,000 sessions, that's Sheffield Hallam. So what I ask you is, who will be the first FE Sussex whale? So we'd love to come back this time next year, and maybe we'll be celebrating, have a little gift ceremony to celebrate your achievements, but the opportunity is open to all of you here today. So we've spent enough time, I think, talking about the past, and we'll look now at the future, which is actually the present. Because we've taken the last year to really reflect on how we can leverage the advances in technology, especially AI, to support not only learners, but also educators, to ensure that your confidence have those core soft skills, the skills that they need and the confidence that they need, not only to succeed in the workplace, but also in life. Now, the answer to that question, following many different consultations with partners worldwide, is BodySwops 3.0. So this video will do a better job at introducing it in just a minute. So I'll go back to the video. Now I can give it a go. Okay, no problem. What I do actually have is a downloaded version. So I can maybe pop this on before we try around. There we go. I'm going to skip that. I'll do a personal introduction for you what to do right now. So the key elements are the ability to create. Now, create is a focus on allowing you to design your own learning journey, whether that's the interaction itself or the course of learning that we follow at BodySwops. So that's pillar one. That's giving you more control over how you will engage your learners and what they will encounter when they're in BodySwops. The second key area is deploy. This is now a brand new area where you can engage learners in the way that suits you best in terms of getting it into their hands. So whether that is in VR, whether that is super speedy access for them to have offline, maybe independently, this is allowing you to deploy in the way that best suits you. And then the final element is assess. So giving you now a new level of understanding of actually what will happen when they're in this training. What are they going away from the training with skills-wise? Are they still needing to improve on the way that they use their body language, their eye contact? Are they really strong at how they structure their speech or their response to a job interview. So it's giving you a better level of insight into how they performed, allowing you to then assign further training or support them in those key areas as a next step. This means you've still got the learning modules that you know and love, but you also now have AI role plays, quizzes, questionnaires, and activities that allow you to not only offer a standalone experience, but a fluid journey that allows them to develop through time. I'm going to take a step back and for the final few minutes just focus on one of these features that we have. So AI role plays is one of our most popular new features, and it, compared to the modules, provides a pure practice space. So it's a free-flowing engagement between learners and the avatar that you have created in a range of scenarios. So this could be a debate, it could be a job interview with a panel of 3 interviewers, it could be a scenario with a patient. There's different now templates that you can customize to best suit your learners' needs. So I've taken the example of a debate in this particular presentation. It's as easy as choosing the skill that you're looking to develop. From there, you have a no-code panel that you can go through and decide the persona, the topic, the mood of the avatar that your learner will be engaging with, as well as their background. So really bringing someone to life. Something that I've heard from one of our partners actually in America is that with their health and social care students, what they'll be doing is prompting one particular patient that they then see throughout the course of their studies. They come in on one particular day with an ailment, and then they see them with increasingly complex scenarios over the course of their journey at college. So this doesn't always have to be obviously with a patient, but maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's different ways that they're interacting at different stages of their own journey. So once you've then chosen your debate, we'll do a preview, once you've then prompted your debate, you can then hand this over to your learners and the results will vary. It will vary based on the AI, it will vary based on your input, and most importantly, it will vary based on what the learners do and say in those scenarios. So I have got a video where I'm going through, I'm sure you'll agree, a very hard-hitting topic, which is it acceptable to watch an episode of a series that you've been watching with someone without? Now, this is a topic that's very dear to my heart, and what I've done to illustrate the kind of a variety that you can have with these templates is that this is just one debate, and yet I've got 3 different opponents. I've got Excited End, he loves reality TV, he's an expressive communicator, and he works in marketing. So a debate that I would have with Leonard would be very different from Excited Leonard compared to neutral Leonard. He's got a different background, he's got a different communication style, and therefore the results will maybe be a little bit more challenging. Maybe I wouldn't find it as easy going. So maybe Excited Leonard is great for your students' first interaction, and as they build their confidence, they move on to neutral, and then eventually angry Leonard. So angry Leonard is the biggest test that they will face. He's a kind drama fan, so he also has a vested interest in watching episodes with their partner, but he's a bit more blunt, and he doesn't really have much time, so he's getting to the point and he does not hold back in his debate. Now, based on my last video, I'm not sure if I have the ability to show you this video, but I'll give it a second. There we go. So, based on the time we have left, I'll quickly show you some snips, but I've recorded myself going through this debate. I haven't edited it apart from putting them side by side so you can get a real view of what this interaction could look like for your learners. We're starting off with the Excited End.
Hello there! I'm Leonard, and I'm absolutely thrilled to dive into this debate today. My position is that it is not acceptable to watch an episode of a series without the person you're watching it with. It's about shared experiences, after all.
Hi Leonard, I'm here to disagree. I don't think anyone should be punished for being available to watch something after it's been released and then not risk seeing a spoiler.
I see where you're coming from, but think about it. If you watch without your friend, you miss out on that shared joy, that collective gasp at plot twists. It's part of the fun to discuss it together afterward, which can't be replicated.
In the interest of time, I'm actually going to skip straight to Angry End so that you can see the difference between the two. I think actually this is more of a reflection on me and my choices in this debate than it is on the
I really want to watch an episode of I'm Leonard. You know, I really believe it's not acceptable to watch an episode of a series without the other person, especially if you've been watching it together. It just feels disrespectful, doesn't it?
The amount of time to show too much more. But overall, that gives you a sense of the different things that you can do with just one template. Infinite possibilities of debates themselves, of the personas that you can create, and that's all with a simple template. So we're going to be doing more of this in the Accelerator breakout with Rosie this afternoon, and then there's an introductory session with myself if any of you are brand new to BodySwops. But we'd love to see what you create and hear your feedback once you've had a chance to put these into action in your shoes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Laura. I highly recommend that you have a go on BodySwops at your college. All of the colleges have got the software and the VR headsets, and it'd be great to get involved with Leonard a bit more, I think, across all of Sussex. So now I'm happy to introduce you to our final speaker of this session, James Hollister of Metaverse Learning.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I trust everyone can hear me okay. People see I only share my voice, which is too loud, so speaking in front of me is rather dangerous. So who are we at Metaverse Learning? So we are experts in the field of mixed reality and education, and what we do differently is we develop with the sector for the sector. So what we usually do is build in consortia with our expert partners, crowdfunding new content to produce immersive content which is right for them, and everyone else becomes a license afterwards. And what we offer is a comprehensive library of immersive programs already to dig your teeth into. And the 5 pillars which make us difference, is our immersive expertise, and the fact that some of our team have been doing this for 30 years, pretty much since the inception of immersive. The strategic partnerships we formed with colleges, universities and other institutions, UK and worldwide, including membership organisations such as the Early Years Alliance, AOs like Ascentis, and also people like the University of Greenwich who collaborate with some of our healthcare content. The partnerships that we have with the AOs and the future we see of immersive within summative assessment in the future. My vision of assessing some vocation in the future is not students doing assessments via written papers, but instead having immersive assessment, which I think is a much better way of seeing how students would be at that particular job rather than how good you are writing an essay. The fact that we try to be inclusive by design in terms of constantly improving our content, being more inclusive for learners, but also by having special immersive content, especially for learners with additional learning needs, and the fact that we're developing AI-powered innovation. So in terms of what is immersive, just so we're on the same page, we've got augmented reality, using your phones and tablets to get the most out of the real world. People might recognise Pokemon Go as one of the ways that people use augmented reality. Alternative to any big wine fans in here, you may also know 19 Crimes Wine, and you can, you should do this, scan the bottle, the person will come out to you and tell you a story about the wine. Virtual environment, immersive on PC and tablet. Virtual reality, headsets. Immersive rooms, which I understand a lot of you guys have got at the moment, which are pretty neat. And then finally, Metaverse, mass multiplayer immersive. In terms of the library of resources we've got at the moment, health and social care is our bestseller. We've also got nursing, whole suite of early years practitioner content, electric vehicle charging point, electric vehicle, the whole of the construction suite there, advanced manufacturing for electrical engineering, plumbing and gas, welding and fab, commie chef, heat pump, solar PV, solar thermal, retrofit, embalming, which like when I go to do some demos at some colleges, they are very, very eager to see embalming. They don't do it. I think they've just got a very, very dark staff there. Performance management, preparing for adulthood with additional learning needs. ESOL, fantastic resource there for our ESOL teachers. And there's a host more that we're currently working with our expert partners on, like hydrogen. Perfect one to make sure you don't get blown up. Great to say, practice and safety with hydrogen. Here's a very, very short video which I'm about to quite truncate in terms of showing you some of the plethora of content we developed. Sorry about the funky music. Very elevator. Works, I didn't have to do it by interpretive dance. Very good. Right, so what about some of our partners done? In terms of assessment, we co-collaborated a huge suite of ESOL scenarios with Ascentis. If you are an Ascentis member and you do an ESOL qualification with them, you might be eligible for our content for free. Come and see me for more details. But here's some of the stats that we got from some of the colleges who we've done some case studies with. And as you can see here with Nelson and Cole, some great stats in terms of how engaged learners are, how much they enjoyed it versus other ways of teaching. And for people who think, oh, Immerse is only for younger students, not right, and we've got the evidence. So here we go, Merthyr Tydfil College, we did it for 30 to 60-year-old learners. They enjoyed it just as well as the younger learners we tried it with for Hopwood Hall College. Now I know what you're thinking. We want someone who's got a bit of feedback from the embalming content. So here's Katrina. She's a Texan. I'm not going to do a Texan accent just in case there's any Texans in the room. Our institution has been looking for a way to make the embalming experience more interactive for our online population who does not have the benefit of attending our on-campus lab sessions. This allowed them to access a lab environment and safely practice the arterial embalming process before going to work on real individuals. Students have noticed that some anxiety has been eliminated, being able to practice an environment where it's safe to make errors before going to interact with descendants in the communities. Very politically correct at the end, descendants in the communities. But that just shows you, if it's like for something like high pressure and crystals embalming, you can use it for lots of other very high pressure scenarios as well. So we've got an end of life care scenario with health and social care, or making sure you don't get lots of volts through your body with electric vehicle charging point. I'm just going to be showing you a video now in regards to some of our new SEND material.
Discover our new Preparing for Adulthood with SEND A program, featuring 4 transformative scenarios. Co-created in partnership with leading education and industry partners, this program empowers students to develop critical life skills in a supportive, engaging environment that promotes greater independence and future success. Book a demo today or speak to our team to find out more.
So my colleague Claire said this is not her voice, I think that's an AI generated voice. Rightio. And the last one, just demonstrating AI.
It's great to meet you. I'm here to help you figure out your next steps, no matter where you're starting from. So, tell me a little about yourself. What are you interested in?
I'm not entirely sure. I guess I like problem solving.
That's a great start. Are there any specific activities, industries, or roles you've thought about? Like working with people, building things, or maybe exploring creative solutions?
I think working with people would be more my thing.
So this is our careerverse. This is a metaverse that we've got, which has essentially got lots of different areas. Nuclear, or you've got construction, health and social care, etc., etc. And students landed here straight away, go over to this particular lady who's AI avatar, and you can ask her some questions and she'll point you in the direction of where you might be best placed to, in terms of career options. So she's a signposting mechanism, but you can have a good chat with her to find out what might be the best career choices for you if you're not sure. But it's a great use of AI and something that students are very, very uncertain about in terms of picking their career options. We've also just worked with NCFE in terms of embedding AI into our content to differentiate it, i.e. the AI makes the difficulty go up or down depending on how well the student's doing and if they've got an additional learning need or not. Anyway, in terms of what next, my colleague Claire has got a session a little bit later on. If you'd like to go up to, I think it's 155, or come over to our stand, which is in the main atrium, and have a chat with us, have a go. I know what you're all thinking again, embalming. Have we got on the headset? I think we might do, I don't know. Have a gander that's got most of that content on so you can have a good go with it. Thank you very much.
Very much, James. I will look forward to trying to involve me at much time. So we've now come to the end of our morning session with all our speakers. So can we just thank again Chris Hogg, Laura Heath, and Jane Pallister for their